Welcome to Talks Podcast, episode 17. Let's get it. Specialist. 4. 5. Welcome back to Talks Podcast, episode 17. It's been a while since the last podcast episode, no ass. Episode 16 and 17, they're going to be dropped on the same day on July 4th, actually. July 4th, 2023. Happy Independence Day to my Americans and to anyone in the USA who celebrates 4th of July and Independence Day. And, you know, I guess I have to say that because it is a huge holiday. It's a day off, so it's always good to get a day off, you know, whenever. You know, 4th of July is always so it's good. And you can see the fireworks as well at the end of the day or whenever you do fireworks. I've been hearing fireworks. Weirdly enough, in 2020, they had them early, but, I mean, it was the lockdown era. So, I mean, people had less things to do, I guess, because more time on the hands. I mean, more things to do because more time's on the hands, but, I mean, it's 2023, so. Wow. Crazy. Time is gone. Time has gone by. But I don't want to talk too much in this podcast episode. This is kind of like a mini podcast episode just because the last one was kind of long. And I am running out of time on my laptop because I need to hurry and charge this joint, and I can, you know, record another episode so I can have 2 at least drop, at least in the beginning of July 23, so we can start the summer off good, summer 23. So happy summer. I said that in the last podcast, but that was like the first episode. But anyways, I don't want to make this episode 16 part 2 because that's just weird because the last one was longer. But anyways, so this podcast episode in particular is going to be talking about whether it's more important to be likable or talented. It's kind of based off the backbone of a previous episode I watched on this podcast before, which from the Mallory Bros Podcast. Shout out to the Mallory Bros Podcast, Terrell and Terrance Mallory on the Mallory Bros Podcast. Shout out to them. This is a little short clip of them talking about whether it's more important to be likable or talented. 2-minute drill. That's the name of the podcast episode. I did this before, but it was talking about baby showers and events, and you can go see that. I believe it's episode 15, part 1. And in this episode, we're going to be reacting to whether it's more important to be talented or likable. Sorry, I'm kind of off my own word because I really want to hurry up and record this before my laptop dies. I'm focused on my laptop, so hurry up. Alright, this is episode 119, Mallory Bros Podcast 2-minute drill. Is it more important to be likable or talented? This came out 9 months ago, September 2022. Crazy. 9 months. That's insane. And also, I forgot to clarify on the last podcast episode, but I don't think I had to because the previous one talks about it. But their content isn't clean. My content is PG at least, or PG-13, so I clean up the, you know, explicit content and stuff like that. But their content is still clean enough to react to on the channel. So that's why I react to the Mallory Bros Podcast. Shout out to them. And yeah, it's interesting conversations from them, from the twins. I don't think I clarified that, but they're actually twins, if you didn't know. So that's a crazy thing. But anyways, let's get straight into it. Mallory Bros Podcast. All right. Is it more important to be likable or talented?
Is it more important to be likable or talented? Does your likability outweigh what you actually do? Mm-hmm. I think in what instances is being talented more important? Exactly. I think the industry is proof that you have to be more likable than talented. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. I feel that.
I think these days you definitely have to have a certain likeness over talent. There's way more talented rappers that don't have that likability, but their talent is up there. Their talent is definitely better than some of the guys that's really up there. But if you have a certain likability, people gravitate to just your vibe and your vibe and your swag. I think that's more important, likability.
I feel that.
I have a very interesting way of looking at this because I think likability overall is way more important than talent in every field, period. That's not true. Not sports. Not sports, not writing, not... In sports, you're right. So in sports, you're right. Maybe you're right. When it comes to a lot of fields, sports is one of the things where talent outweighs everything. Because Kawhi Leonard is the most beige personality, was the worst. When they won the finals, that was the worst ever to watch. He wasn't likable. They asked him, he did it for. He said, I'm doing it for me. I'm not doing this for the fans. I'm doing it for me. It's the most unlikable champion. But he was dope. He was super talented. So sports, I get it. But a lot of these places that you can work, depending on what field you're going into, likability, specifically in artistry too, likability is more valuable.
Yeah.
I've interviewed that have had great resumes, but you're just annoying. And guess what? I'm not hiring you. Nah, yeah, you're right. And then I've had people that don't have that much work experience, but they just super. If I can talk to you about anything, I'm a hire dude.
Which is nice, yeah.
Yeah. But in the same time, when it comes to artists, like you said, we see where this person's cool, so since we like them, Jack Harlow is the prime example of that. Even Yeet right now. Even Yeet. Yeah, well, his sound has a likability, but we're not judging it off of talent. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? I think the same, but you know what? When people that thrive on likability aren't liked anymore, that's when their talent comes into question. That's where they're being challenged on that. Yeah. Unless your talent is just completely just talkable about. Yeah. R. Kelly is a prime example. Super likable, super talented. When we found out he was not likable, and he was nowhere not likable at all.
Terrible background.
That didn't change the fact that, damn, this man talented. But with somebody like a Jack Harlow who never really was like a super dope pen, was making catchy. When people started getting the ick for him a little bit, now everybody was looking for his album to be trash. Yeah. And when that joint came out, that joint did not deliver well. I don't know why I thought about that, but that's a good conversation because we can pivot that into what I wanted to talk about, which is about like.
Okay, all right. So I guess they're talking about attention again. I'll get my initial thoughts right after this, so I'm gonna pause and think about initial thoughts. But that was a great clip, and that was a clip from the MalloryBros podcast. Shout out to Terrell and Terrance Mallory. That was a clip about whether it's more important to be likable or talented. And I was gonna say. I think in technical fields, at least from my perspective, what I know, I think in technical fields that, your talent level is more important than whether you're a likable person or not, because you can be like not favorable as like a personality type, but your quality of output is just there, so then it's more excusable, but it's still like, you're not the nicest person to talk to, but I mean, the quality of the work is there, so I guess it's a little more excusable. But I think in general, I think it's good to be as great that you're a talented person, but also I think it's just better overall to just be like a likable person, because then not only is the quality of work good, but then I feel like from what I see, I feel like not only is the quality of the work good, but then the environment's also like healthy, I guess you would say inclusive environment, just an environment that everyone can, thrive and just do well in. There are certain personality types work better, certain personality types, so that's just how it is, I guess. I mean, I've seen that for myself personally, like maybe sometimes in teamwork, you may be cool with somebody, or you may favor somebody a little bit more just because you can relate to them, because they have more of a personality type that you can gravitate to more than somebody else. But on the other hand, you have somebody that has a different type of personality type, but you don't hate each other either. You're not supposed to hate anybody, but I mean, you're not going to be, I guess, the best of friends, if that makes sense. So I think that was a good conversation, a little initial thoughts from my perspective, and that was Hawk's podcast. So thanks for watching. If you guys enjoyed, thanks for all the support in the previous podcast episodes I've seen, especially the ones that dropped recently, episode 15, part 1 and 2. Appreciate all the support. I've seen the support. Thank you guys so much for watching the content, and I will keep doing my best to drop some more content in the future, including these two podcast episodes 16 and 17, and I will see you guys later. So if you guys enjoyed, be sure to let me know. Thanks for all the support, and I'll see you guys next time. Happy Independence Day, 4th of July if you celebrate, especially if you live in America, because I'm pretty sure it's only the American holiday. Happy Independence Day, 4th of July. Enjoy your day off and the fireworks, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out, Hawks. Have a nice day. Goodbye. random ending. Alright, man. Alright, thanks for watching. Peace out, Hawks. Have a nice day. Bye. Ooh, a beautiful summer's calling. A beautiful summer's calling. Peace out, Hawks. Have a nice day. Bye. It's insane, bro.